Raise your hand if you have stress in your life. After this past year, you should have both hands up, huh? Stress is actually something that we need. I mean, I don't know about you, but sometimes I need the stress of a deadline to get a project done. Right? Be honest. Sometimes I need the stress of paying my bills just to go to work. See, now you're laughing, but be honest. How many of you here, if you hit the big lotto tomorrow night, would be at your desk on Monday? Now, I don't mean just to clean it out. Hands went right. One hand stayed up, okay? I used to laugh at people like that. You read about them all the time. They win like $50 million, and they keep their day job. And then I thought about it. If I work for some big organization like IBM, Coca-Cola, Georgia Tech, and I hit the lottery, I'd definitely keep my job for a few days. Just to annoy everybody. I mean, wouldn't that be fun? Come cruising to work about 11:30, right? Wearing nothing but a Speedo and flip-flops. Jeff, you're late again. The dean's looking for you and he's mad. Ooh, I'm shaking. See, people think that stress comes from bad things, but it comes from good things too, right? Anybody here ever get married? Right, it's supposed to be the most wonderful day of your life, can be the most stressful day, or even worse, having your kids get married. I got a daughter getting married in June out in Denver. And I got to tell you, folks, your daughter getting married is like God saying, you got way too much money. But you're going to spread that around. Right? Yeah, I can't believe how much it is. I finally grabbed my future son-in-law and I said, look, for what I'm paying for this wedding, I either want 4 grandkids or a boat. Don't come up with the kids, I want the boat. You ever get stressed out from somebody trying to pay you a compliment? Or trying to say something nice to you? I had a little old lady come up after a program and say, anybody ever tell you that you favor Louis Grizzard? She said, the columnist that died a few years ago? I said, well, yeah, I guess I could see the resemblance, but I always thought Louis was heavier in the face than I am. Right? She said, oh, no. She said, I mean towards the end when he was sick. Thank you, just keep moving, okay, Mom? Well, last week I had a young guy come up after the show, said, man, you look like that funny dude on TV. I go, yeah, Jeff Foxworthy, right? He goes, no, the neighbor on The Simpsons. Ookly to you too, okay? Now, stress isn't the problem, distress, that's the problem. And a lot of that comes from negative self-talk. How many people here talk to themselves? About half, okay. So all of you that didn't raise your hand then, are you telling me a little voice inside your head didn't just go, I don't talk to myself? Maybe these nuts do, but I don't. Right, we all talk to ourselves. As human beings, that's how we process information. Matter of fact, psychiatrists will tell you, if you're not talking to yourself, you need to be talking to them. Right? Something ain't right up there. And so many times we get in that negative self-talk, right? Like how many people wake up Monday morning and go, all right, a work week. No. Or maybe negative talk with other people. Like I know it's nobody in this room here because you're such high achievers, but you might work with somebody in school, outside of school. You know, the kind of person who doesn't know the difference between doing something 100% and doing it just good enough, right? You could have a one-on-one with them, probably make things worse, right? Or maybe you could use a story to get your point across. You could say, this situation reminds me of a guy who's driving one night. Comes up to the stop sign, looks around, doesn't see any cops, so he slows down, but he still rolls through the stop sign. Well, as it turned out, there was a cop around the corner, pulls him over. Officer comes up, says, do you want to stop you, sir? He goes, no, I don't. He goes, well, you ran that stop sign back there. The guy says, oh, no, didn't you see? I slowed down. The cop says, well, you're supposed to stop. I says, I slowed down. It's the same thing. The cop says, look, the law says you have to come to a complete stop. The guy goes, oh, come on, give me a break. I mean, I slowed down. We both know that's the same thing. Well, at that point, the cop whips out his nightstick and starts whacking the guy on the head. He goes, hey, that hurts. He goes, I know. Now, I'll let you decide. You want me to stop or slow down? Right? And the great thing about using a humorous story like that is humor will give you an emotional distance between you and what the problem is. There isn't that direct one-on-one confrontation. And the best type of humor to use is humor that pokes fun at yourself. Right? You shaking your head, yes, you know. You can take yourself lightly. I know people who say, Jeff, if I poke fun at myself, people may not take me seriously. Hey, they don't anyway. And you know, actually the opposite is true. They found in study after study that people feel that if you're willing and able to poke fun at yourself and what you do, you must be extremely confident in who you are and what you do. I mean, think of the people that you admire as great leaders. Are they people laugh at themselves, take themselves lightly? Or people that are dead serious? Always love that expression, dead serious. Because I tell you, serious people scare me. They're the ones that start wars, right? But you never hear goofy people going, well, okay, let's nuke them. You know? We don't do that. We've learned to laugh at ourselves. Right? And humor is such a great tool for diffusing anger, for getting people to look at things from your situation. Like a great example, I'll never forget this. It was years ago, but this one time, my youngest daughter comes down for dinner, about an hour before dinner. And she goes, Daddy, can I have a cookie? I'm like, well, you know, there's not a parent in the universe can't answer that question, right? No, honey, it will. And of course, you're a grandparent, and it's like, yeah, sure, here, have some cake too. So that's what I said. I said, it'll spoil your appetite. She goes, please? No. Please? No. Oh, pretty please? Now, come on, how many times do I have to tell you no? Ooh, if I guess, do I get a cookie? Again, you laugh, but she got a cookie. Right? Humor breaks down resistance. Matter of fact, George Carlin had said, after a big laugh, it's like the perfect Zen moment. Never are you more open to a new idea or a new way of thinking. But the most important thing, I think, with dealing with stress, with building, you know, relationships and teams and just bringing people together is getting that ego out of the way, right? And that's always one of the biggest problems. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna, in a moment, I'm gonna ask you all to stand up, and I want you to partner with somebody near you who you don't know, and we know who you know, okay? So stand up, partner with somebody. Okay, at this point, if you do not have a partner, raise your hand. Not if you don't like your partner, just if you don't have one. Oh, okay. Okay, so she, come over and you can work with her. You got her? All right, everybody pair it up. All right, face your partner. Oh, do me a favor. Quickly between yourselves, just decide who's going to be A and who's going to be B. All right, if you want to know something about personality types, the type A personality just told the other person what they're going to be. This is actually the first time I had a whole room full of A's going, I don't care what you are, I'm A, okay? All right, face your partner. Take your right hand and place it flat against their outstretched right hand, just like that. This way you can only do it with two people, so you just be the referee, okay? All right, and for the men in the room, I promise this is the only touchy-feely thing you're gonna have to do. Okay? All right, when I say go, without throwing your partner to the ground, I want A to push against B. Go. Okay, go ahead and stop. Thank your partner. Give them a high five, say, hey, we nailed it. All right, take your seats. Take your seats. That's it. You did perfect. She's going, what the heck was that all about? And just killing some time. That's okay. This is pretty sad. And my watch is going, did you fall? Did you? I clap my hands. Did you fall? Yes, I'm okay. I watch. All right, now let me ask you, A, you pushed against B. What did B do? Push back. B, you pushed back. What did A do? Pushed even harder. And B, you pushed. A pushed back even harder still. Have you ever seen that happen in the real world? Like the one you're working in every day? But you got people supposed to be working on the same team with the same goal, but those egos get in the way, right? And next thing you know, things wind up escalating way beyond the point that they should. But I noticed something else happened. In two places here, A pushed against B, B didn't resist. Just let their hand go back. What happened? A stopped pushing. No, it's no fun, Whoa. Now, I'm not saying be a wimp, but by using your sense of humor, you can stop those things from escalating beyond control. And it's like, great story about this. Buddy of mine, Bill, wonderful trainer, uses a lot of humor in his presentations. Not a big believer, though, as humor in a stress management tool. And he's like, Jeff, sometimes you just gotta yell. You gotta get mad. You gotta get it out. And I said, Bill, the evidence proves otherwise. Matter of fact, I had just read an article in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, so it's true. Fact checkers. And it was a medical article, and it showed how they'd done autopsies on men who had died from heart disease, late 50s, early 60s. The autopsies showed that their heart was covered by scarring formed from lesions. When you get angry, your body pumps out adrenaline, forming these small lesions that scar over, making your heart less elastic, more prone to heart disease. And Bill's like, yeah, whatever. Well, he calls me back last week. He said, man, you're going to love this one. Because I'm driving downtown Atlanta today, and I got a woman in the car with me I'd never met before. And as I'm driving downtown, this jerk cuts me off. He says, I almost go off the road. And I finally get control of my car, and I look up, and here was this moron giving me the, shall we say, high sign. Right? He said, oh, something like that happening. I usually have a whole litany of things to yell out. But I couldn't, because this woman was in the car. Well, it turned out that Bill's favorite program when he was a kid was Gumby. Remember that? He says, I don't know where it came from, but I found myself going, well, he didn't seem very friendly, did he, Pokey? He said they both laughed all the way downtown, doing Pokey and Gumby jokes. He said, Jeff, something like that happened to me. Normally, I would remember it 4 or 5 times during the day, and each time I remembered it, I'd get even madder. You ever get that? It gets in your craw, gets under your skin. It's that justified anger. But of course, when you get angry, you're doing horrible things to your body. I won't go into them right now, but my favorite quote was from Buddy Hackett. He says, when you're home being angry, the person who made you angry is out dancing. Right? You're holding on to it, they still got you. He says, I did remember it 4 or 5 times a day, and each time I remembered it, I laughed even harder. Right? Same thing, because you were saying before, you get to decide, right? Something stresses you out, you got to take charge of it, all right? Now, you got to be careful the type of humor you're using. You don't want to be like this rich guy. He's over in Europe and gets a call from his butler. His butler says, sir, I'm sorry to tell you, but your cat ran out in the street, got struck by a car, and it died. The guy says, how can you be so insensitive? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, you don't just tell me my favorite cat died. He says, well, I thought that's something you'd want to know. He goes, well, yeah, of course I want to know something like that, but bad news like that, you should break to somebody a little at a time. And he says, I don't understand. He goes, okay, look, you could have called me up the first day and said, sir, your cat's on the roof. We can't get it down. Right? Then maybe call back the next day and say, sir, Kitty fell off the roof. It hurt itself, but we took it to the vet. Right? Then maybe a few days later, call back and say, sir, we did everything we possibly could. Kitty passed away. You see, that way I don't get the shock all at once. Butler says, very good, sir. So about 2 weeks later, Butler calls back and says, hello, sir. Your mother's on the roof. We can't get her down. Okay? Not an appropriate use of humor. Okay, isn't humor just so important in the world? Years ago, before I started speaking to different organizations, I got to work with David Copperfield, the magician, on some of his magic specials. And they brought me in to kind of add some humor to what they were doing. And during one of our meetings, I said, David, I got an idea. I would like to take something like a handkerchief and make it just pass through the mic stand. And David said, hey, me too. Thanks, Mr. Magic, all right? He said, no, what you don't realize is our R&D department has been working on something like that for me for about 2 years, and we finally concluded that up close, right in front of people like you work, it can't be done. He said, maybe on a big stage with the mirrors and the lights, but not right in front of people. Well, I guess what they didn't realize is I didn't have a big R&D department to tell me what couldn't be done. I was one person that had an idea, and I had a burning desire to see that idea come to life. They spent 2 years and quit. I spent 3 years and kept going. You tell me who you think's right, the big organization that's decided something can't be done, or the one person that truly believes it can. Yes? That's kind of scary. You're staring at me like a couple of truckers outside a closed Waffle House. No bowing, no bowing. It's just comedy. Thank you. Oh, you know what? I want to get somebody up here to help me. Would you come up and help me? Give me a nice round of applause, okay? And how about this young lady in the blue, right there? Yeah, clapping. Yes, come on. Give me a nice round of applause. Both of you up on stage. Come on up. And you're?
Doug.
Doug. Nice to meet you, Doug. I'm Jeff. And you are? Amy. Nice to meet you. Do me a favor. Just both switch places. There you go. You can go this way, Amy. Go that way. Either one. All right, well, I've asked you both to come up here and help me with a classic of magic, known as the Chinese linking rings, also known as the mystery of the silver rings. And this is done with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 linking rings. Now, if they're linking rings and they're going to link together, which they will, there's got to be a hole in them somewhere. Would you examine that one, Doug, see if you can find a hole? Check it out very closely.
It's good to me.
You busy? Oh, okay. Would you examine that one? Here, come on in a little closer. Find a hole.
I did not.
Glad you didn't go into proctology. Okay, that's what I'm saying. All right, Doug, you found the hole. Take those two and link them together. But don't clink them, link them. Like, interface them. No. Oh, wait, maybe you're better taking things apart. Okay, here. Okay, just take those apart. No, like this. Do that, but do that backwards. No. It's in the wrist, like this. Do that, but do that the other way around. We'll get back to you, okay, Doug? Okay. Would you put your right arm just like that for me, Amy? I'm going to place this right there. Would you hold this one with both hands, please? Or what, I tell you what, Doug, while I'm over here with Amy, would you take this one and put it on with those two? Yeah, that's going to keep Doug busy for a while, okay. All right, Amy, turn around, face me. Put both hands at the top of your ring. Bring your hands all the way to the bottom. You know what that does? Cleans it. That's it. All right, here, put both hands right on the side, about that height, nice and firm. 1, 2. Way to go. How many you got all together now, Doug? Oh, no, wait, look. He took this one off and put the other one on. Give him a nice round of applause. What a man. All right, yes. Oh, Amy, look, mine looks just like yours now. I'll show you how to get them apart. Okay. Hold your center ring in your left hand. Right, other left hand. Okay. Take the 2 rings that are hanging from the center ring, give them a spin toward yourself. Take your right hand, put it through the 2 spinning rings. We have the center ring, turn them inside out, give them spin in the opposite direction. Take the outside ring, bring the other 2, create a between, pop it off. Perfect! All right. Exactly. Don't worry, 2 rings is much easier. All right, Doug, hold your top ring in your left hand. No, top ring. Okay, find the hole. See? A little humor helped them remember, right? All right, take your right hand, put it through the hole, grab the ring on the bottom, and just pull them apart. So close, so close. Here, let me have those 2. Let me have those. It's kind of tough doing this by yourself, isn't it? Without all the knowledge or all the resources that you need. But when we work together, and that's the great thing about you all coming from all these colleges, sharing ideas, helping each other with problems that they might have that you have already solved. We're going to see what happens when we work together as a team. Would you touch that hand? Just touch my hand. There you go. Would you touch that one? Sometime today, Doug. Okay, there we go. Look, working together, we work as one. And you're finding out during today that as we come together and share ideas, things that seem complicated get solved easily. And some things that seemed impossible get solved as if by magic. That's the Chinese linking wings. Nice round of applause for my two lovely assistants. Thank you both. Thank you. Now, the great thing about that is both of them had the ability to laugh at themselves and take themselves lightly. And I tell you, that is so important, because I've had people up here before that couldn't take themselves lightly, and it was no fun. So again, a nice round of applause, please. So enough about what some other people have done. What are some things that you can start doing now to add a little more humor to your life, to reduce stress? How many of you like me? Always on the phone, trying to get a hold of people that aren't there, right? And now through the magic of voicemail, don't you feel blessed when you get a human being to leave a message with? And I think most of us miss that opportunity. We'll call up, hello, is Bob there? No, I'm sorry, he won't be back the next week. Oh, great, he's never there. Guess I'll call back. Me, I try to get the person to laugh a little. I'll call up, hello, is Bob there? No, I'm sorry, he won't be back the next week. I go, okay, I'll hold. One time I had one person go, okay. But when I call back, that person's going to remember me as somebody that made their day better. Because believe me, most people are making their day worse. Be the one that makes their day better. Well, how many times you do this? You call up, you get a receptionist or secretary. They're just programmed to always ask you the same question, right? Who are you with? Well, I'm just at my desk by myself, but hey, thanks for asking. Appreciate that. And sometimes you just have to look for humor in your days or create humor. How many have you been like me in some place like Walmart? Somebody comes up, asks you that great question, you work here? I see that as an opportunity. Why, yes, I do work here. How may I serve you? How much is this toaster? $1. Get some for the kinfolk. I had a woman last week come up after my program, and I told that story there. She said, I had the same kind of thing happen at Target, because it was my fault. I made a mistake of going in there with a blue vest on. Right? And people started coming up to me, asking me if I work here. And I got to tell you, after the third person, I finally said, yes, I do work here. And then somebody tapped me on the back and said, great, can you cover my shift Saturday? She said, yes, I can. How about doing something nice and unexpected? Wave at a cop that's in there directing traffic. Smile at somebody that doesn't expect it. Or how about this? Hold the elevator door for someone that doesn't expect it. Because, I know you're a wonderful, loving group of people, but be honest. We all know there's that certain distance if somebody's that far from the elevator. You're like, I don't think so. Okay. When we all become actors. Or next time you get on an elevator, there's just one person, get on, just stand right next to him. Hi. They will get off on the next floor. Now, I teach a comedy class here in Atlanta. It's a 6-week comedy course where normal people like yourselves go and learn stand-up comedy, add humor to your presentations, and you get to graduate on stage at the punchline. Number one rule in the class, you've got to write at least one, if not two jokes that pokes fun at yourself. Shows you can take yourself lightly. Now, my last class, I had this guy, Trent. I'm a big guy. I'm like, 200 and too many pounds. And Trent is like 6'5", he's got to be 375. He says, Jeff, what I like to do is, if I get on a packed elevator, I'll scoot over where they got that weight limit sign, look around, whip out my pocket calculator. Folks, it's going to be close. But we know people like that. They can just laugh themselves. He called me up last week and he said, Jeff, you're not going to believe this. I'm flying back from LA. And because of my size, Delta makes me pay for 2 seats. I said, well, Trent, I got to agree. You're a big guy. What's your problem with paying for 2 seats? Because they weren't together. Sucked me right in on that. But look for places to have fun. It's all around us. Next time you go through a fast food drive-through, they always have that crummy microphone system. You know, they come on and go, can I take your order, please? Yeah, I'd like to get a french fry, and a cherry pie. And again, you laugh, but you came back and said, that'd be $4.95. Drive around to the front. How do they know? When's the last time you went grocery shopping? Right? They don't even take your credit card from you anymore. You got to run it through that little box yourself. I shopped last week. It came up about $97. I run my card through, and then this little sign pops up next to it and says, is this amount okay? Didn't realize I had an option. But I mean, sometimes you just got to see what's going to happen. No. I put in $2, and it was great. Got to meet the manager, a couple of security guards, And now you go to Kroger, half the lanes are self-checkout. Right? Do you find that annoying? I'm like checking myself out and go, when did I become an employee? What's my employee discount? Okay. You ever go to the dollar store? They have scanners there. Why? Dollar. Dollar. Could I get a price check? Dollar store. You ever wonder what their employee discount is? Just take it. No. Well, how about this? Going to work on Monday? Can you believe it? $5 for contacts. Or a lawyer, go to his office. You all handles those LASIK eye surgery cases? I got me a doozy. Probably shouldn't have had it done in the back of a pickup truck. Could be my fault. Well, how about this? Come out of the employee snack area. Man, someone has got to fix the door on that microwave. I'm calling OSHA. That's what I'm doing. You go out on a convention, stay at a nice hotel, first thing in the morning, go down to the front desk. Man, y'all got to back off the chlorine in that pool. Well, how about this? Someday you got the day off. Go apply for a job you don't want. I go down to the local Home Depot. So, you dudes serious about that drug test thing? I love power tools. Just lighten up, learn to laugh at yourself, bring your humor to other people, right? If you're making other people's lives better, it's going to make your life better as well, okay? I hope you've enjoyed my presentation here today. I hope you got a little bit about using humor. Now, don't get me wrong, humor is not going to make everything go away. But using humor a lot of times can open up those lines of communication so you can deal with what the problem really is. Like next time you make a mistake, I challenge you to tell this story. It says about a guy whose friend was opening a new business. So he decided to send him over some flowers. So he went to the florist, picks out this beautiful arrangement, sends it over. Next day, walks in the guy's office. Here's this big wreath. Across the front, it says, "Rest in peace." Well, the guy flips out. Goes back to the florist. He's yelling and screaming, and finally the florist says, okay, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. But you got to realize this could have been a lot worse. The guy says, do you want to tell me how this could have possibly been any worse? He says, well, you got to realize that somewhere in the city today, someone's being buried under a wreath that says, good luck in your new location. I tell you what, one more time before I go. The incredible handkerchief. Oh, got your attention now, don't I? I'd like to talk to you about Amway. Watch. Yes. Well, I tell you what, you all been super here today. You want me to just show you how this thing's done? Yeah. Oh, come on, I can't hear you. Yeah. Everybody! Yeah. You gonna put more humor in your lives? Yeah. And I tell you what, all you see is me up here doing this. You don't realize all that goes on behind the scenes. Just like in your job, I know you are doing stuff that you don't get that pat on the back for, you don't get the credit for. But it's got to be done to make everything work. So I tell you what, I'm going to show you how this is done. All I ask, just pay attention. This way you can do it for your friends, have a lot of fun with it. And just so you don't miss it, I'll do it for you in slow motion.